Chosen one, you always knew you was different. You didn't blend into the crowd. Something inside of you was calling you out. Something was making you think differently and walk differently and stand alone. People couldn't work you out, and they never gave you a chance to be who God created you to be. They didn't know who you was. You could have pretended to fit in with everybody else. And maybe you did for a while. But that was a waste of energy. And it delayed your purpose. Because you'd only have to go back to the start again. Back to the beginning of what God had planned for you. People didn't get you. People don't get the person who has the strength of mind to be an individual. You don't get it. They prefer you to be a clone, to be a copy of them. But you wasn't going to sell out on yourself. No way. You are a unique individual. It was your choice to follow your own direction. Your choice. Something told you to follow your own direction. Wherever that would take you. That's the way you was created, my friend. But when you was a child, you didn't know the direction that you would end up in. You wasn't mature in your calling. You only knew that you didn't fit in. You didn't fit in. And that was okay because you didn't want to. That was going against who you was as a person. You didn't feel comfortable pretending to join in. This is the difference between the chosen one and the average person. They can't just blend in to the background. They have to stand alone. They have to be who they were created to be. The people who rejected you, where are they now? Still following the crowd. Nothing has changed in them. They're still evil and childish. They never developed. They never grew. They're still following the patterns of the world. They don't know about the higher calling, my friend. But you, chosen one, have grown and developed. You wasn't afraid to step out in faith. You wasn't afraid to step out of the safety of the boat. Peter stepped out of the boat and walked on water towards Jesus. He showed great faith. And you, chosen one, have showed great faith by stepping into your calling and your purpose. Don't be afraid of life's storms. Don't be afraid of what people say. Jesus will always reach out a hand, just as he did with Peter in the storm, in the boat. Chosen one, you are safe in the hands of Jesus. Back in the day when I was growing up, I knew I was different. I knew I just didn't want to be the same as everybody else. I didn't like the same things that other people liked. So that kind of made me not accepted. So I knew I was different. I knew I wasn't part of the clique. I knew I wanted to be myself, to have my own identity. And not just something that was acceptable or normal in the neighbourhood, in their eyes acceptable. I didn't just want to blend in to something that was considered to be normal. Well, that approach didn't win me any friends. I had one or two. But I wasn't bothered. I wasn't the most popular kid in the neighbourhood. But I didn't care. And I don't care about things like that now. I knew I hated the violence and the aggression of the streets. I knew I hated nasty and evil people that had the qualities of Satan. I knew I hated dishonest and disloyal people in the neighbourhood. Not everyone was like that, but most of them. The only place where I found peace and where I was happy was in the church. The local church was my refuge. We had a local church that was attached to the school, and I was always in there, and I was happy, and God knew who I was. I didn't have to prove myself to anybody when I was in the church, and I still don't have to prove myself to anybody now, to this day. So I grew up in the inner cities environment, in a deprived environment, where it was like a dog eat dog mentality. Even as a kid, I learned the lessons of the streets very quickly, what to avoid and what to stay away from. The places where I grew up, people didn't have much, and they never offered much to the other people. They never offered help to their fellow men and women. It was hostile. It was a war zone. Very few people lived a godly life. That's just the way it was. But me and my brother, the two of us, we was encouraged to attend church every Sunday. It did us good. I can only speak for myself, but I learned about God from an early age. I learned good morals. I did, and discipline. I learned about Jesus' life, and it did me a lot of good. So I took that grounding from the church and I kept hold of it. I kept hold of the ball. Throughout my early life and into my adult life, I kept hold of that. Jesus is still the main focus of who I am and the direction that I'm going in. And it will be, and he will be, until the day I die. And he should be for you. No other teachings, no other purpose, no other way, no other philosophies can compare to the life of Jesus in this world. Nothing and no one. Some of the things I went through as a child has made me who I am today as an adult. And I suppose that's the same for everybody. Positive and negative, it all adds up to make you who you are. Certainly, I wouldn't want to be a fake person pretending to fit in to a fake world, because the fake matches the fake and the real matches the real. I didn't have to prove myself as a kid. Nobody needs to prove themselves to anybody. That would be fake. Fake friends don't have your back. Any sign of trouble, they're gone. They're gone. They leave you to it. But Jesus will always have your back covered. Always. The world is like a fake friend. There's no loyalty in it. Because the person who is in charge of the world is Satan. Because nobody in the world cares anymore. Not many anyway. It's all been stripped away. The world has developed into a very corrupt, wicked and evil place, controlled by evil men, agents of Satan, smiling with evil intent. They want you to conform. My focus is to serve God and to do all I can to bring unbelievers to Christ. That is my purpose. Hope this message helps somebody today who's on the fence, who's not sure about accepting Jesus into their lives. And I hope it reinforces somebody's faith as well. But you need to be who you are. Don't change yourself. Don't pretend to be something that you're not, because you will be delaying your purpose. That doesn't fit in with who you are. Anyway, the truth is, Jesus sticks closer than a brother. He doesn't change like the world changes. We need him on our side to help us to weather the storms in life. Otherwise, We won't get through it, my friend. We can't get through it on our own, no way. We have to rely on the King of the universe, the Lord Jesus Christ. Otherwise, we're going to be overcome by Satan. It's as simple as that. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, there was a lot of aggression, a lot of jealousy. Everybody was poor. Nobody had money. There was so much crime going on. There's nothing wrong with being poor. I'm just letting you know. The crime was going on left, right and centre. Even the poor were stealing from the poor. There was riots. There was all kinds of things going on. But that didn't stop my development. That didn't change the person that I've developed into. Yes, the place was in a kind of depression. At a young age, I found myself joining a gang, which was a mistake. But I soon realised that it wasn't for me. So I left that gang to be on my own again, because that was the only way forward for me. The problem is, when you're in a gang, you fall out with one person, you fall out with everybody. I don't blame them. That was just a process that I had to go through. I just didn't fit in to the gang, that's all. That wasn't part of my purpose. That was not my design. But Satan had me as a target from a young age. So wherever I went, whoever I joined, it wouldn't work. He made my life difficult, let's say. But I came through it, just like so many other people in the comments. I've come through their personal traumas and their battles. If you are useful to God, if you have a potential for God, from the moment you were born, you will be part of God's plans in the book of life. But your life will not be easy, because becoming a servant of God means that you will be an enemy of Satan. I honestly believe that Satan knows those who are anointed and appointed for the purposes of God. He knows. Satan knows who is a threat to his kingdom of darkness. So the anointed will have a mark on them. Everywhere you go in your walk, the evil one wants to trip you up and take you out as a child of God, as a chosen one. But many, many times I was warned in advance. I was told, don't go there, and don't do this, and don't do that. In my dreams I was told. So I knew that God was with me. I knew that God was on my side. I knew that God was my Saviour. I knew that Jesus would protect me in all circumstances. And I had an assurance. I knew that I had nothing to worry about, because evil cannot overcome good. Darkness cannot overwhelm the light. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change my life, no way. If I saw somebody from my past and they said, oh, you had it rough, I'd just tell them straight away, I'm glad for the things that I went through, and I wouldn't change a thing. I'm happy for the things I've gone through, because it's made me the person I am today. And it's never easy being a Christian anyway. It's not easy being a chosen one, because you are outnumbered. We are outnumbered in this world with evil people of evil intentions against us. The world is against us. The world is happy to be in disbelief, to not believe in Jesus. The world isn't the same anymore as it was a few decades ago. Christianity has gone down the pecking order. It's not as important to people as it was before, and that's because of the work of Satan. The world is now happy to reject Jesus, but they do so at their own risk, at their own peril, because Jesus is the truth. We only follow the truth. We only follow the straight path, not the crooked path. Anybody who's following this world will be in for a shock. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody. Maybe there'll be similarities in your life that I've mentioned in my life within this video. And that could make somebody realize to take stock of themselves. It might make somebody understand the process of what they've been through and their purpose in life. Because Satan puts us through a similar torture. It's a kind of a testimony, and I'm sure it'll be useful to somebody. Anyway, take care and God bless. Thank you for listening.